next thing on our list is President's Report. I have some items for you. President Lane Alumni Advisory Council conference call. He has these about once a month. He has selected alumni on the call, and I wasn't able to attend, but Vernica Scott, VP of Membership, was able to call in. Few things to highlight or take note is that first I want to say thank you, Vernica, for calling in on the call. I heard everything went well. And I heard Dr. Lane gave us some shouts out. And so thank you for that. One of the shout outs Dr. Lane did, he complimented the School of Business Advisory Council for their efforts and contributions to JHJ School of Business and TSU. And he mentioned that other advisory councils, he would really like if they pattern themselves after the School of Business. And then he went further to say that if people didn't know or kind of forgot about it, I wanted to just give a reminder and say that TSU, we're celebrating our 90th year history. And he says that TSU is #1 in the nation when it comes to producing minorities and African Americans with accounting degrees. And so that hit home because we're here in the School of Business. And he said that we're also leaders in marketing, and of course, you all know law and pharmacy when it comes out to producing minorities with those degrees. Connie Cochran, that's over alumni relations for the university. She mentioned on the call that either starting this month or in March, that her office will take up the responsibility or try to take a goal on having an alumni night once a month, one Thursday out of the month. She said it may be like the last Thursday of the month, and she'll pick a location. Right now, they're still working on the venue. And this is for whatever your major or your degree was, but to come out on a certain night. And she said that's to kind of build a network, the camaraderie and everything between alumni, and wants to try to keep this ongoing. So be looking out for that so that we can attend and support as well. The Dean Search Committee, there's no change since last general body meeting. As you all know, I sit on the Dean Search Committee, and we have our interim Dean Williams, who will be here a little bit later to speak with us. But the last change that happened is we selected 3 candidates and submitted their names, resume, and all of that, all their information to Dr. Lane and our new provost, Provost Harris. And so haven't heard back from Dr. Lane and Provost Harris, but 3 candidates have been selected and sent on for their review and for their interview. The JHJ, I mentioned a little bit earlier, JHJ Business School Advisory Council, which I'm a member of the council, member of that board. We had a planning meeting on last week, and it was to discuss the goals of the council for this year. We want to stay involved and make sure that we're not just meeting to meet, but we're actually benefiting the school with fundraising and raising awareness amongst alumni and just in the business community in general. I'm the chair over the alumni committee, alumni and public relations committee. So I'm working with Muriel Funchez as far as the public relations piece goes. And then I think with the chapter support, we can handle the alumni portion. This past week, Mr. Hank Holmes, the president of Cadence Bank, just joined on board to be on the Business School Advisory Council. And so that's pretty big news for the School of Business. Our chairman, John Guest, expressed his excitement on this new addition to the committee. And he says that Mr. Holmes adds a wealth of knowledge and experience and leadership to the team that he already has. The next committee meeting or next advisory council meeting is coming up Friday, February 23rd. And lastly, I just have a few thank yous. It's been a busy 2 months for us. We're hitting the ground running, our alumni chapter. I just want to say thank you to all our alumni who volunteered this past week for the TSUNAA University School of Business Alumni Week. The undergraduate committee, thank you for coordinating the event. And thank you, special thank you to Mira Funches. She was a director of advancement, and she was our point of contact, our liaison with the School of Business. The students have been stopping me, sending me texts, posting me on Facebook, just saying how much they really benefited from from this past week. And so kudos and thank you to everyone who participated. It was an all-in effort and couldn't have done it without them. Also, thank you to those who volunteered last week, and we'll hear more about these in detail later on in our committee report. But I just want to say thank you for everyone who volunteered at the TSUJSB basketball game, and then also thank you for Ms. Brooks for tonight for the refreshments. Anyone that's here tonight in the upcoming meetings, if you want to sponsor the refreshments, get with Ms. Brooks. And you don't have to actually go pick up the food or anything. We'll do that. If you want to sponsor $40, $50 for upcoming meetings, just get with Ms. Brooks after the meeting and let her know. Thank you to all our committees have been working very, very hard. Between last meeting and this meeting, we've been meeting, talking, texting, messaging. And what you see today in their reports, they put a lot of effort and time into it, volunteer hours. And everyone else that's here, we welcome you and your support and your participation as well. That's all. Oh, and the one last thing. So this week, Crystal Rivers reached out to me. She said she had an accounts payable position available for seniors and recent grads. And I forwarded her information over to Muriel Funches. And so Muriel Funches and Crystal have been communicating this week on potentially letting all the students know and the professors know that that job is available. And then just as of today, Nicole Caracca, who is a recruiter, emailed me today about 5 business leads, 5 business jobs. And I forwarded her information over to Muriel Funches as well. So this past week, alumni have sent in 6 job postings to hopefully get filled by someone within the School of Business. And also Whitney, I'll get with you and fortune information as well so we can send that to our alumni network. Absolutely. With that ends my president's report. And next on the agenda are highlights from the TSUNAA board meeting. Our TSUNAA executive board consists of all our national board members and also presidents from every chapter. We have 18 chapters. However, this past year, I have been elected as the VP of Finance. And so instead of me trying to wear 2 hats on the call, I did what I think is the best thing. And I asked our Vice President, Jasmine Belton, to sit in on the call and represent the chapter. And so Jasmine will present to us our highlights from National's call. And here we go.
Good evening, everyone. From the TSUNAA board meeting, there were a few highlights that the new president is requiring of each chapter. Increasing membership was one of his major concerns, as well as alumni giving and scholarships. So the vice president of membership was on call, and to start taking in some of those initiatives or actions. First and foremost, the assessments for 2018 chapters assessments, they have now changed to $500 per chapter. And the assessments will be due before the TSU homecoming, October 2018. So instead of doing the $1,500 that we've done before in the past, it has now gone down to $500 for each chapter. For fundraising, there will be a push in the spring for lifetime memberships and support of the university and upcoming alumni giving campaign. So you'll see a lot of email pushes from each chapter about joining in the mid-February. The next is the summertime. There was a, I'm not going to say a suggestion because it really wasn't a suggestion, but our membership, VP of membership and finance decided that all alumni, we will start doing a 5K kickoff-a-thon. So they're asking each chapter to keep a lookout for that because you will start receiving emails. They want participation from each chapter. I think that they're, if I'm not mistaken, I thought they said if you could get so many from each chapter, from your chapter, there could be your bragging rights throughout the chapter. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Also, there will be a new electronic newsletter from the TSUNAA that will come out, and it will highlight every chapter, the alumni as well as their business. So if you have your own business, they're asking everyone to go to their Facebook page and also just put in your information from your business, and they'll highlight your company on the website, the national website, as well as the new newsletter that they will start sending out. And that is all the highlights up until the summertime.
All right, thank you, Jasmine. Thank you for sitting on that call, and thank you for communicating some highlights from the meeting. We have a guest speaker here today, and so if it's okay, interim Dean Williams, we're going to change up our agenda a little bit for you so that you can speak now to our alumni, and then we'll get back on schedule after the presentation. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to see. We actually have a live feed going. So not only that we have our alumni here sitting in the room, we have a live, like 2 different sites that we have running. So just.
And where are those sites?
Just go.
Those 2 computers, those 2 laptops.
Okay.
They have them listening all the way from New York to California, and then we have our live news feed. So they're seeing us all live. Yeah, so no time for glitches or any issues.
Okay, I'm going to be brief. I'm not taking more than say 10 minutes and answer any questions, try to answer the questions that you might have. I received an email from Erica, and she said you all wanted me to respond to a few questions. And on that second slide, these are the questions that I was given. What is the state of the school in terms of enrollment? What is the state of the dean's search? Where we stand relative to JHJSB accreditation or reaffirmation of accreditation? It will be remarks regarding the academic programs and outreach programs of the school, and some building infrastructure updates. You see some of the things that are going on, so I'll come through that. And plans going forward. First, the state of the school's enrollment. Look at that first slide there. Our enrollment has done very well over the past 2 years. As a matter of fact, we've gone from a total enrollment of 1,507 to 1,748 over the last 2 years. And that represents an increase of approximately oh, she didn't put that column in here. But from the fall of 15 to the fall of 17, oh no, she put it column-wise. Yes, undergraduate enrollment was at 89% of the total enrollment, and it's still at approximately 89% of total enrollment. The graduate enrollment increased slightly, but has since dropped. That's a concern to us. The graduate enrollment makes up only 10% of the enrollment of the business school. That's down from 14% last year. The reason for that is due to a decrease in the executive MBA program. We have not developed a successful strategy to get executives into our MBA program. We will be working on a strategy to increase that enrollment. Over to the next slide. Some of the areas that you mentioned, looking at the undergraduate enrollment, we see that the accounting enrollment has decreased slightly. It was 22% of the School of Business undergraduate enrollment, and now it's down to 19%. Finance, on the other hand, has increased from 13% to 20%. That increase in finance came about primarily from the increase in international students. International students have a preference for finance over any of the other areas. Management area has remained about the same, but management 2 has decreased slightly. MIS enrollment has decreased slightly. Marketing enrollment has remained about the same. So the distribution of the enrollment probably needs to be adjusted a little bit. Our MIS program is not doing nearly as well as we thought it would. To address that issue, we're going to add a completely online MIS program. We've looked at the numbers, and the numbers tell us that that is a hot area. There's a lot of demand for MIS. There's a lot of jobs for MIS people. And not only that, they're paid better than, these positions are paid better than marketing, accounting. So we're going to add another component in that area. But all in all, the enrollment of the business school is increasing. Over the past 2 years, we have an increase in enrollment of about 14%. That's very good. This is a very competitive environment, but we have done very well. We were successful in increasing enrollment because we focused not so much on first-time freshmen, but on maintaining those students that we already have here. We're trying to increase the retention rate. And not only the retention rate, but progression rate. We want to move from freshmen to sophomores and juniors without stop outs and drop outs. So we might need your help in that regard. You need your help with retention. You know what the student, you know what some of the problems that the students are facing, and we would love for you to help us in that regard. We have some special programs that we have put in place, but also you can help us with recruiting students, transfer students, as well as first-time freshmen. We have a team that's in place to do that, but we don't have any innovative recruitment strategies that we're using. We're just tying in with the university's recruitment effort. We have a fairly good team, but I think in the School of Business, we should be able to develop an innovative, creative marketing strategy directed at the school students as well. The dean search. The dean search for a long time did not go very well. We started this process almost 2 years ago. I was asked to be in this position for 1 year, and now this is into the 3rd year. But we're making progress now. And how much can I tell you? I can only tell you that the search has been narrowed down to 3 candidates. And those candidates will be presented to the provost soon. And the interview process will take place within the next 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for interviewing schedule for the candidates that are coming in to get
interim dean, we just want to say thank you for all your efforts and all your work day in and day out through all these years. Not filling in, but taking on the leadership role of interim dean this time, and not just this time, but multiple times. I want to say this maybe a third time or fourth. Third time being interim dean, and under your leadership, we've had some challenges, and we have matched those challenges and came out successful. Dealing with accreditation in prior years, enrollment, and amongst other things. So thank you for that.
Yes. Ultimately assume this position at my age, want to get into a stressful environment. I'll tell you, this has been very stressful. But I've had years of experience with students, so I know how to deal with the students. I know how to deal with the faculty. And I know how to deal with the internal operations of the school in general. So it hasn't been too difficult, but I'm ready to step aside. Okay. And ACSB accreditation. I was primarily responsible for getting the school accredited. Dr. Slade had been here, Dr. Slade had gotten the building, so it was pretty easy for me to guide the school through the accreditation process because we had everything in place. We had the new building, we had the new facilities, and we had the faculty, we had everything we needed. But Dr. Slade left us before she could get accredited. And so she left it to me to get the school accredited. And we went through the accreditation process with no problem. Even though you gave me credit for it, Dr. Slade was responsible for the groundwork required to get the school accredited. And most of you probably don't remember Dr. Jean Rem.
Yes.
She played a primary role in getting the school accredited. After Dr. Slade had gone on to become president, we had a lot of data collection to do. Dr. Ramsey picked it up on herself to generate all the data that we needed to convince the accrediting team that we were ready to be accredited. But at the end of each 5 years, we have to go through a reaffirmation process. And we went through that from 12 through 1916. And there were 15 standards that we had to meet. We cleared 13 of those 15, but there were 2 of those standards where we were just borderline. And one related to students, one related to faculty. The one that related to students was that during the past 5 years, the average score on our finance and accounting indicators was only about 35%. 35%. We had to address that problem. We scored below what the faculty had set. The faculty had set a minimum target of 40%. Accounting and finance scores were below that and have remained below that for 4 consecutive years. So we put a plan in place to address that problem, and we think it's an excellent plan. And we believe that when the next testing cycle comes, our students will perform much better on finance and accounting. So if you have some finance and accounting people who can give some ideas to add to the plan that we already have in place to help our students. The other area had to do with faculty qualifications. We were in good shape. We were in good shape. Most of our faculty have PhDs and they're teaching in the fields in which they got their PhD. But there was a problem. Over the last 5 years, we had 2 faculty who did not do research. And so therefore, that counted against us. We have brought in 2 faculty from economics to teach. They did not do research. So there are 4 faculty who had not done enough research to be qualified as academically qualified. So we've corrected that problem. I want you to look at the next page or so, and you can see how we have addressed that problem. Okay, you see the little table on page 3? When we prepared the report in the fall of 16, 100% of the accounting faculty qualified. We did an update to that report, and now still 100% of the accounting faculty are qualified. Finance was a problem for us. At the time we submitted the report, only was that 59% of the finance faculty were academically qualified. We have corrected that problem. 100% of the finance faculty are now qualified. So that's no longer a problem. So how did we do that? Well, very simply, we had to make the tough choice about the 2 econ faculty. We had not done the research, so we transferred them out of the business school. That's true. That's being scary today. And we had another faculty member that had not done research. We put him on post-tenure review, and lo and behold, he came up with 2 publications like that. So, yeah, a little pressure we had to put on him. Well, he's one of the best researchers we have on the business school, but he just went into a 4-year slump and got no publication. But when we put the pressure on him, he got the 2 publications in a matter of 6 months. Excellent writing. Our management faculty has been a problem. 70%. That number needs to be 90%, by the way. We are now at 88%. We went out and hired an additional faculty in management. She is excellent. And we got another person qualified through what we call a bridge program. She went off to the University of Florida, and she paid $36,000 to go through that program. And now she is in college. So in the area of management, we've gone from 70% to 88%. MIS, we are still good, above 90%. Marketing, still good. Combined, we are at 95%. So 95% versus 79% before. So we don't think that will be a problem. Do you think that we are 2 points below the threshold, and then 2 points is below a guideline? That's not a specific target that must be met. So we think that we are going to receive reaffirmation within the next 3 months. We've submitted all the final reports, and the report was submitted to what we call a continuous improvement committee. Committee will then report their recommendation to the JHJSB body, and that will take place on March 1st.
Oh.
I think we'll be okay. We will be in compliance like 14.8 out of 15, and so we should be okay. So decisions had to be made. We had to terminate some people. We had to hire some other people. We had to put some other people on. Watch post-tenure review. If you don't get the research done, we have some disciplinary action that we need to take. But you can be certain, 90% certain or more, that we will have a problem with accreditation. But you have to understand one thing about this accreditation process. This is a continuous improvement process. We have to show continuous improvement. And we have done that. But the process also wants you to strive to keep getting better. No matter how good you are, they want you to get better, get better, get better. And so therefore, they could have given us the extension based on what we had submitted before. But they said, the team said, John, you can do a little bit better. You want TSU to do a little bit better. And so therefore, and I'm going to give you some ammunition to go to the president and go to the administration and get the factor that you need. And so that's what they did. That's why we did not get the extension before. So we have gotten the money, we've gotten the support of the administration, and it should be no problem. And the next thing you asked me to comment on was academic programs. As I said, we have no new academic program, but we are planning on offering a complete online MIS program. You can have some input here to some faculty members that will want MIS. And so I made the decision to move forward with the MIS because of the attractiveness of that program, the demand for that program. It's the highest paid of all the majors that we have to offer. But I'm getting a little negative feedback from the faculty. The management faculty said, well, maybe we should be offering an online program in management. And of course, the finance people say, maybe we should be offering an online program in finance. And so that created a little problem among the faculty. So we only have another week to get that decision over to the person responsible for that. There's a new person the president is hired, and her sole responsibility is to create new online programs in the business. No, not the business school, on the campus. The state of Texas has mandated that all state universities offer more online programs and courses. So this is a state of Texas mandate. Now we have to choose. We have to choose which one we're going to offer.
Are you guys looking into the opportunity?
No, we have not. It would be good. I think there's a demand for a doctoral program in the business discipline. We have not looked into it yet. I will carry that back to the faculty. That's something, I know the faculty are not too keen on offering a doctoral program. I don't understand that. But no, we have not given it any thought.
So, are we, besides the doctorate program, are we doing like certifications for professionals? Have we started looking into doing something like that?
We have not, but that's one of the president's targets, to increase the number of certificate programs. And that would be a nice funding source for us.
Yes.
But no, we have not considered that yet. So that's also one of the state of Texas's priorities. So we will be looking into it. It's one of this 2022 priorities that we are talking about. So certainly before then, we will be offering some of that. And let's see. Outreach programs. Well, that was a problem. I didn't think we would get through the accreditation on the outreach program because we had the Center for Entrepreneurship and Executive Development. That program had declined because we didn't have funding for it. We wrote a proposal to get it funded, but the proposal was not funded. So we're going to have to, we've changed the focus of the Center for Entrepreneurship to make it the Center for Entrepreneurship and Executive, no, Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And so, and we have submitted a proposal to get that funded. So we expect that center to be fully operational soon. We have the Case the Wall Center for International Trade and Development. That too is still active. Scholarships are being awarded, but we didn't quite achieve what we hoped to achieve with the Case the Wall Center. Something happened. Case had promised us $10 million. And he had made donations toward that $10 million. But all of a sudden, something happened. And he has not made the rest of his $10 million donation to the business school. We think there's a possibility that we can get Case back on board again. He was a good friend of Dr. Ruffley. And should I say more?
No.
Yes.
I have a question. I saw here that this outreach program is being funded by the Department of Energy. Is this going to be a pilot program that's starting this summer, or it will be an ongoing program? Because it says in here that you'll have 8 to 10 students from here, as well as the University of Houston. So I'm just wondering if this is just going to be a pilot or an ongoing program.
This will be an ongoing program. I don't know how long it's going to last. I think the contract we have with the Department of Energy is for 5 years. And some of the money is going to go to the University of Houston. Some of the money is going to come to TSU. But we are starting up that program this summer. And what we're trying to do is get more students involved in entrepreneurship in the industry, in the energy industry. And so we're going to take 8 to 10 students from the University of Houston, 8 to 10 students from TSU, and they're going to work on some special projects. But these are going to be projects that will lead to the development of businesses in the energy sector. We might need some some of your input there too. We have the chemistry department, technology department that will provide maybe half of the students. The other half will come from the business school. And we're going to bring these two groups together and see if they can come up with some ideas that would be worthy of business futures. We think there are some real possibilities for students to get into businesses in the industry sector. And we have the support of the Department of Energy. Believe it or not, the University of Houston already had an energy program, and they had this grant, and they came to us, and so we can't, they didn't quite put it this way, but I think what the Department of Energy told them, in order for you to get this grant, you have to have some minority participation. And they came to us, and of course, we were ready to the grant. And I think it's a 5-year grant. That was due to the pressure from the Department of Energy. And we had started in this area already. We had our EMBA program was designed to have an energy focus. And we already have energy courses in the curriculum, and we are part of the executive MBA program. So we made a very strong case for being included in that. So, and then we're going to go back to Chase. You know, Dr. Rubby has returned to the business school. And he has a nice setup in the business school. He has the nicest office in the business school. And he's back on. So his first assignment is going to be after teaching a course or two, to go get back with Case and see if he can get that $10 million for the okay, and lastly, you see some of the infrastructure changes. Well, you know, Dr. Slade was here. We were on the cutting edge in this technological standpoint. But that was in 1999. Since 1999, we had made virtually no upgrades in the technology in the business building. And so it got to the point where we had to bring out a laptop computer. They took it up in the floor, and the floor that was not working. And so we called the president over, and President Lane said, yes, we're going to move the business school up to the top of the list of getting the business school up to date again. And the president has committed almost $500,000 to getting the infrastructure in the building upgraded. Still have a ways to go, and we're learning as we go. When I saw this in here, yeah. We could have come up with something a little bit better than this, but the people on the committee decided to do it this way. Every room in the business building would be updated. Everyone. It's this one or the one next to everyone. And we will be maybe not up to the University of Texas and Texas A&M as we were when we first built the building, but we will be on par with every other building on campus. And any other infrastructural changes? Oh, well, I don't know. I think you all came over to have a meeting in the building was probably cold. Yes. I'm sorry I didn't make the meeting, but I said they can't have a meeting in this building. You don't have any heat in the building, and we had just turned off the electricity to the building the weekend before because there was a leak in the generator, and they told us, oh, this building is in danger of some kind of explosion. And so I wanted to tell you, Curtis, I think maybe you ought to have the meeting someplace else. But I think you all managed, but it was there. I apologize for that.
That's really, I'm sorry. I took sick in that.
That is happening to all of us. We were sitting up in this building with the temperature being in the low 50s Oh, dang. Yeah. And then they finally got it fixed. Now it's too hot. They finally get it. Okay. That's about all I have to update you on. I'm sorry that happened. Okay, any questions before I let you proceed with your meeting?
I have a question.
Okay.
Several years ago, well, more than several, we had active recruiting on school business. And somebody in their wisdom decided that it wasn't necessary, and they moved some people around. In our chapter, we had active recruiters. In fact, I was one of them. And I think that we were a big credit to this university. And I think, well, that's just my thinking, that you, maybe someone over here should reconsider and maybe think about adding this back to the school of business, simply because we need to try to get the best students here and not rely on the recruits of the university, but to have directly from the school of business to look for some school of business candidates.
Yeah, well, I agree with you completely.
So what do we have to do?
Well, let me back up for a minute. When Dean Johnson was here, Dean Johnson had a different perspective on recruitment. So he went out and hired Dr. Brown as executive assistant, responsible for all recruitment and retention activities. And it was his decision, not Dr. Johnson, but Dr. Brown's decision, was to participate along with the university in its recruitment activities. And that our primary focus would be on the retention of the students once they're here. How well is that working out? Well, if you look at the numbers say that was a good decision, because since he's been in charge, enrollment has increased by almost 15% over a 2-year period. But
That's total enrollment.
yeah. With,
What about the school of business?
no, I'm sorry, that's the school of business. Yeah. But I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that we can, I don't know if money is the issue, but what I've seen large universities do is get people who have just finished there, or maybe finished a year or two out, to go to different schools. And they go all around, to every school, and get the best students, because we have to have the best students, not just a body, because then you have issues with passing. If you just have a body, you have a lot of students. Well, the best, so you get the best performance.
That's a good observation. Yes, we're getting the students, we're getting the numbers, but we're not getting the quality of students that we used to have. And that's becoming a big problem for us. We have to take them through so many special programs to keep them here, keep them motivated, and so forth. Very, very difficult. And we don't have the relations. The School of Business does not have the relationships with the business community now. And Ms. Hughes was the person responsible for recruitment. She had connection with nearly every school within the city of Houston. She personally knew the advisors at all the schools, and he was able to bring in top students from nearly all the schools around Houston.
Yeah, I served as a recruiter for about 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But when I was working in IRS, I recruited and hired school of business students, because that's all we concentrate on is accounting major.
We are certainly going to have to revise our recruitment strategy, not just depending on the university's recruitment team, because their focus primarily is on community colleges, community colleges, and so forth. And we're not getting the quality of students that we used to get.
And I used to be a student recruiter for Mrs. Hughes. And we recruited those students who are primarily on in the student organizations to go out. And we didn't have any issues about going to different school rules instead of taking time out of our day to student tables. Because me personally, when I'm there, I see a whole different perspective from the university level. Because university level, hey, here's paperwork, come to the school, check us out, that's it. But when you talking to these students personally, and they see, you're a student there, and oh, I want to be a part of that, that's cool and stuff. And so I think that probably needs to be more the focus because I haven't seen anything regarding student organizations lately.
Our largest neighbor doesn't even have an organization now. We have no management organization. 35% of our students are in the management area.
Mm-hmm.
The marketing association is doing very well, but the other areas are not doing very well.
And that means if they're not doing it here, then they're not doing it when they leave because they don't have the connection. When they leave.
So yes, we need to revamp our recruitment strategy. And believe me, that's going to happen. That's going to be top priority for the new dean when he comes in. The new dean will probably be here by, my guess is at least before the fall. I think the new dean will probably be here July 1st, maybe June. I said, yeah, I don't know if he or she. I'm not privy to the final list of candidates, but I know the list is final and the interview will be. One of the top priorities is going to be increasing the quality of.
For someone who's interested in that outreach program with the energy, for the Department of Energy for those students, what avenue would you suggest traveling to?
Okay, well, since I will not be the dean, and I have a chemistry background, the two people selected from the School of Business will be Dr. Claiborne and myself. We're going to be looking at the entrepreneurial side, but both of us have technical backgrounds. So either me or Dr. Claiborne.
Okay, another question. Back to the student organization. This is so dear to my heart. Do they know student organizations besides AMA?
No, we have one for, marketing. We have one for finance and accounting. But we don't have one for management. We used to have something called site students and free enterprise, but we gave that over to somebody else in another area. But now it's coming back to the business school. So we are considering site students and free enterprise as well as having a special organization similar to AMA for marketing or management.
But when I was here, there was something called SBLO or something like that. Whatever that was.
Business leadership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's not active.
That's not it. But we're going to bring it back. Dr. Brown has taken it upon himself to start up a new organization primarily for management majors. It might be SBLA, it might be site, it might be a completely new organization, but by the fall, we'll have a new organization specifically for management majors.
What are your plans for leadership in those organizations? I just graduated like literally a month ago, and so I was in a couple of organizations. I feel like the real problem is getting leadership, not even just the students, but also the faculty, because you have to have two advisors full time. So what are the plans to actually
I
retain
think that's the
advisors?
biggest problem. Yeah, we do not have active participation in the organization by the faculty. There might be one faculty member who will participate, even for site, we cannot even have a faculty advisor. One of the staff persons serves as the advisor. So yes, we have to get faculty involved, more involved in the student. That will be done. That will be one of the top priority items. Active participation of the faculty with the teams of the organization.
So can you have like one faculty member and one?
Oh, that'll work. Well, it's ran by student services. Well, I was the president of the organization. So our old faculty advisor was Dr. Lewis. For some reason, he's not here anymore. So since he left, we weren't able to have an organization. So it got treated by two faculty. Yeah.
Okay, so we certainly look into that. It's a major problem. Now, look at it the other way. We have had, when we introduced the executive MBA program, because we had to have the same quality of faculty teaching the EMBA program as was teaching the regular MBA program. So what we decided to do was to allow the regular MBA faculty to teach the others. And so we had to pay them overload. So they were teaching 4 courses a semester. And they had to do their research. When they did the 4 courses per semester plus the research, of course, they wanted the money, so they didn't have much time for service. So, but that's something we definitely need to work on, getting more faculty involved. They'd rather take the money than spend the time doing service for free.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I've taken up too much of your time.
I'm sorry, Glenn. I know, I guess this will be the last question, but we do have someone that's online that asked a question. He was actually a previous president of the Entrepreneurship Club. So you wanted to know is that organization still active?
Is that organization still active?
Rodney Reynolds ran that.
Yes, Rodney Reynolds ran that organization, and he did a good job with the Entrepreneurs Club. Rodney is no longer on the faculty. That was one of those tough decisions we had to make for accreditation. We had to find someone else to replace Rodney for accreditation. I said we had to make tough choices. So the organization went down when Rodney left. Now we assume that Dr. Price, who is the entrepreneurship guru, was going to take it over. He has chosen not to take over. So presently it is inactive, relatively inactive, but that will be starting up again come September. Well, thank you very much for having me come. Provide you with.
That was a lot. Yeah.
Stand in the middle there.
Can we balance? Yeah.
Next one. Gotcha.
Where we going, right here?
One more. You got it?
I enjoyed meeting with you. Feel free to ask me anytime.
Thank you so much.
We still have our meeting going. The next thing, thank you again, Aaron Dean Williams. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Thank you. We have, next on our, we have our budget committee here. Do we have any budget committee report today?
Yes.
We do? Okay.
Yeah.
No, they're wrong. Okay, so next we'll move to fundraising committee. And Ms. Benny Allen Brooks is our chair. And I'll give that committee report because Ms. Brooks wasn't there for our last fundraising event. But on this past Saturday, Ms. Jasmine Belson, our vice president, is gonna come up and give that fundraising committee report. Jasmine, as you know, is on our fundraising committee, which is our largest fundraiser of the year. And so I asked her, can she be the co-chair with Ms. Brooks on overall fundraising? It only makes sense why have two separate fundraising folks and put them together. So Jasmine will actually give our presentation, our report on fundraising.
Okay, so this past weekend, each chapter is actually asked to participate at any football game or basketball game throughout the season. And in the midst of that, we were chosen to do the Jackson State University against TSU basketball game. So we chose to do the 50-50 raffle. So on Saturday, we raised $681, and half of that went to an actual winner. It actually was an alumni, is that Anatomy? She was the winner for the $341. So we wanted to give thanks to all the raffle participants who came out and also the volunteers. I don't think there's the next basketball game we won't be attending.
No, but this is all that we're asking our alums to come out and support. But there are about 3 more home games. And so you can go online to tsu.edu and check out that schedule. I know the last home game, the second to last home game of the season is officially alumni night, I believe. And so you can come out for that just to support the school. We won't be there with actual fundraiser, but still come out to support the school. And then the last game of the season, the Young Alumni Chapter will be hosting the fundraiser. So I plan to go out and support the Young Alumni because quite a few of them stopped by our table and supported us. So we need to support each other. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. All right. So next on our list is yes.
I have a question. We got to stop this already. And we were supposed to have a meeting on 29th. And I was wondering what happened. I think we canceled it. Okay.
We'll have a new date for it soon?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Thank you, because as you know, it takes 4, 6 months or more to plan for those big signature events. So thank you, Ms. Brooks. The next thing on our agenda is our recruitment committee report, and Ms. Bernica Scott is our chair. Bernica.
Good evening, everyone. I will be brief. I will be reporting on our new members. As of right now, we have 32. Someone paid earlier today, so right now we have 32 members, total paid members, and we have 14 lifetime members. And our goal this year is to get 50 members. So I think we can do it. We just have to come up with creative ways to get our alumni involved. And you've seen the email that I sent out. I have a membership challenge going on. And this membership challenge is for everyone to at least invite 5 people to the meeting before our May meeting. and then at least one would have to join before that time period. So it's just to get alums involved and get them to join the chapter and just come out and see what we're doing as well. So that membership challenge is going on as we speak right now. And so up until May, invite your alums to come out. And I think we can get that number, we can reach that goal of 50 members.
I just want to say that I have one alum here this evening, so please write me down, tally me down. We have Mr. Stephen Granson here, and he's one of our 40 under 40 inaugural class alums as well. So just wanted to make sure we have that in writing.
Hey, I was number 32.
And on the
Be
record.
real time with the.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
And so we definitely, I think we definitely can reach that goal to get 50 members. All right, let's go to the next slide, please.
All right, so technical difficulties. I don't know how to. You got it, one more.
Yeah, one more. Okay, so I will give some updates on our membership video. So if you probably have heard, we are going to do a membership video, and this video is going to cover different eras, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And I spoke with Alan Sams this week, and he is going to scout out certain spots on campus for us to video this membership video. And so I'll reach out with him next week. And what we'll do is we'll have 2 or 3 alums for each era in this video. And then they can kind of give their highlights of during that era. They can formulate some questions for that era, or they can just go off the top of the head and just say, hey, you know, we attended Fairchild Building back in the 60s or something like that. So it would just kind of be a creative way to let others know that the School of Business is here, we've been here, but we're just wanting to do something a little bit more over the top. So I think it'll be a fun video for us to do. And hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we can get together and we can shoot this video, and we'll just put it out there and we'll just have a good time. Also, as I talked about in the membership challenge, the 5x1, invite 5 alums. One would have to join by May or during the May meeting, and you will be entered for a gift. And then we have a March mixer. So our March mixer will be probably around March Madness. So our TSU Tigers will probably go back to the big dance. So just for us to kind of fellowship and kind of get together, we'll have a mixer probably that Friday or that Saturday. And then we have a Rockets outing where we'll do some fellowship on March 24th. That is a Saturday at 7 p.m. and they'll be playing the New Orleans Pelicans. So these are kind of some of the things that I wanted to kind of get the chapter involved in and kind of get us to fellowship more and get more alums involved. And at every event that we have, we should always be asking, right, are you a part of the chapter? Please join the chapter. We need you. Yes. Yes, it had to be changed for the price level that we were trying to go for the March 12th game was going a bit, This one is going to be $55.
Is that for one ticket or 2?
The other, based on the March 12th date, that's instead of spring break, a lot of the tickets in the $50, $40 price range were already taken. So we had an option of $69 or $100. And so we had to move the game to a different date. to get it to stay between $50. And so this is the game that we'll be going to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. So next item of business is our committee report for our undergraduate committee. We have one of two of our co-chairs here today, Mr. Carl Jenkins, who is also our parliamentarian. Mr. Jenkins.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carl. We had successful, we did University Alumni Week along with the university. And we had 12 alumni, and we had 10 professors who participated, and we went into about 15 classrooms. So we saw about 200 students. And they were from accounting, management, MIS, marketing, and business administration. So we had some pictures. I don't know if you see the pictures. Miss Betty participated, and I think Murder participated. Thank you guys for doing it for us. And Muriel Funches was our point of contact on campus, and she set up all the classrooms and time. She did all the legwork for us, and all we had to do was just get the alumni. And we had so many alumni that we had some to spare. We got a couple of alumni to spare, so we had so many of them. And we are going to send out a survey to the alumni and also to the professors to find out how we can improve alumni week going forward. And that should go out next week, and it'll run about 2 weeks. And then we're going to also invite the alumni that participated with Alumni Week to the Rockets game and Alumni Night on 3/24/18. I don't know what game that's going to be. You guys know what game that's going to be? That's what team is going to be. Oh, no, it's about alumni night. Yeah. Oh, that's the same thing. Okay. I thought we were going to participate. Okay, and then we also going to come on campus during finals week, hand out scantrons, pencils to the students who are in finals during the week of the final week. And then I will add what you guys on the date. But I think it's sometime in May.
Yes.
I think it's in May when the students are going to be taking finals. So we'll be handing out scantrons, pencils, and then, introducing ourselves to the alumni, to the students. And I think that's about it.
Absolutely. And so that last bullet on there, I gave a charge to Carl and Quentin. I said, I received so many emails, phone calls, and all this good feedback from this University Alumni Week. Students who they really reached out to me, and I was hearing from other alums as well, that we interacted and connected with them, and professors enjoyed it. For Alumni Week, I don't want to go in, they wouldn't even allow us, right, to go into the classroom and talk then, because you need that whole hour and a half or so to really put in the work. But I want them to see us again before the semester's over. But this time, I just want to, hand that scantron, that pencil, they walk through the door, just say, hey, you got this. We have your back. Alumni is here. Make that 4.0. Get that good grade. Just quick, short statements as they walk by. You hand one to one, and they walk by. You hand one to this one, they go by. You hand one to this one, they go by. So, and I would really like it is that it's not random. So the alumni, when I went into Dr. Perkins' class, I want to try to match back up with Dr. Perkins for the same students, that group of students. It won't be the same day, because I know finals week is a different schedule. But Ms. Brooks, the picture we saw earlier with her and Dr. Hyman, if possible, you can go back to that same group of students. So they can say, oh, you know what? I saw that lady earlier in the semester. I saw that guy earlier in that semester. And I think from there, we can continue to build on the relationship that we're already building. So that was my charge. Hopefully we can do it, even if it's a smaller percentage of the large group that we had the first time. And of course, we can still maybe stand by the door and give them out as well. But specifically, those alums that participated, we can get you back to those same professors for those same students. We have a double impact. So, yes.
The only question I ask is, are we still trying to recruit those alumni that spoke that are not members? Because most of them were from the 40 and the 40, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we need to really push to get them into the alumni chapter.
So the thing,
I was gonna say, I spoke to Chevelle and, I thought she was gonna be
Yes.
the.
You gotta leave at 5:30, the meeting at 5:30.
She came.
She knows.
so the thing, I just want to say, when we started the 40 under 40, we have a strategy. And we're slowly picking at that strategy. So we don't want to kind of like come out and say, you need to join just because you're doing X, Y, Z. So what we're doing is we're slowly, how should I say, strategically targeting the 40 under 40 group. They're slowly starting to come, drawing themselves into the organization. So I would say just give us some time and you'll start seeing because a lot of them, are asking certain questions about what's going on. And I think bringing them to the alumni and having them come into the alumni week and bring them to different other activities that we're doing is slowly going to maneuver them into actually just wanting to pay. I think it just, right now, you don't want to just ping them and say, okay, we're asking you to come to this and we want you to join. When majority of them are actually donating money on the side without even actually paying to be an actual member. So, but it is a strategy to it. So,
And I thank you for that comment, Martha. Everyone has different perspectives, but me as the president, my perspective is you can give more. Volunteering is not just about paying your $50, $100 check. You can give your time. You can give your talent. But we're not overlooking that because we know that our chapter does generate and operate off of funds and off of money and off of membership dues. And so we're not taking that for granted. And no well taken. And efforts are, we have our public relations committee, which is coming up next, and it probably will answer some of your questions about outreach, recruitment. So thank you.
I got one more thing I want to get in. To Mr. Burgess Wilson for sixth grade.
Thank you, sir. Get entertainment. All right, awesome. Was there a question?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
So just to piggyback to what you were saying about handing out the Scantrons, I just had an idea, like what if, like, I guess in the upcoming semester, that we actually, like an alumni pick to adopt a professor and try to, I guess, visit the class when they can, to kind of motivate those kids to do better or to, so they can have an actual face with the person instead of just, doing, yeah, so that person will actually have like a mentor for this group or whatever it is.
Wow, excellent idea. And so I'll have to funnel that because Mr. Jenkins is here. But we'll take that idea, get with you offline and help develop that so that in the fall, I think it's achievable.
Yeah.
And I believe we can do it. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Is that all for the undergraduate committee report, Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Awesome. So moving right along. So the final and next committee report is our public relations committee. And so our constitution and bylaws, since it's been established, has had this committee in our constitution and bylaws. However, it's been, for the most part, inactive. We all have pitched in over the years, the board members, and even non-board members, but just members, on working on outreach and public relations. But this time we actually have a face with the committee, and the committee itself is up and running. And so the person that I asked to be chair, she said yes, is Whitney Jones Moore. and that is our corresponding secretary.
I will say, I don't know what happened to, it just covered up the last part of the words, but, I want to look at this as a strategy, for right now, because you said it hasn't been active for a while, so I would like to, for things to kind of be organized. And I want to get with, specifically for Nikki, because I know she has some events coming up and the fundraising chairperson to figure out what is working in the past and what hasn't. So we're not, don't waste that time, those things that hasn't worked before, but I also want to know what we want to do differently. It would be great if we could plan things out for a year, but it may be too much of a goal. So maybe we can do quarterly reviews to figure out what they want to do in this quarter of the year. And then what their budget is for that, and then what part of their budget we can use to maybe market and get more people involved. So that's why I said I want to budget each plan event with those, within those budgets, within the advertising budget. I would like to have that within whatever event budget they have. Also, I would like to make media connections. I think Burtis and I spoke about, Burtis, you spoke the last meeting about going to radio stations.
Yes.
And I know a few people, so I would like to reach out to them to see if we can start getting people involved, not just with the business school alumni, but alumni organizations, period, because that's one of the things that Connie spoke about, the alumni chapters, and us being a part of those events. And I think y'all mentioned it in the report for national, that we're gonna be invited to those events, but we also want to make sure people actually show up and become involved. And that's a part of the idea that I had from our retreat. And I really do firmly believe that if we can get people on campus to volunteer with the different events that they have, that alumni can come back to, that we won't have to beg people to participate. That people just want to be a part of the alumni chapter when they finish, because they've seen other people do things for them while they're on campus, and they want to be involved. Also, I want to seek partnerships, specifically with the Young Alumni Association, because those are a lot of people that finish with me, who I am friends with, and I think it can overlap as well with our chapter. And then I create social media promotion. I don't want to just be basically given an assignment to send out something for one particular thing. I want it to be ongoing. So I want us to have something that we can post really daily. And I can't do that all by myself. And so I'm glad to see that some people signed up in the back to participate with the Public Relations Committee. Some people in here, Ms. Evans, post all day long. And so she can be posting for us at least one post a day. So I think that we can make great use of some people that we have here to help us bring more awareness to what we're doing.
Since Jasmine normally does our community and you doing public relations, Dr. Curry has a nonprofit, and I thought it would be a good idea for us to partner with them every now and then. That way we can get develop a close relationship with the faculty and staff here on campus, because she said she has mentioned it to a couple of our alums, but nothing has materialized. But if we can do that, we need to get that hold on the faculty and staff, we can get them to work with us. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to step up there. So I think that would be a good thing to do.
Okay, so you see the first bullet I have for the closure campaign, and I really, like I said, I'm serious about that, and I think that it's something that's hot right now. Everybody's saying for the closure is for the closure. But I think that we can use it to our advantage and create a culture of people giving back to TSU and being involved at TSU or at the School of Business specifically. I want to be able to use these platforms to publicize university engagement events so that we can get alumni involved in those events. And of course, we have a website. We have Facebook that's really active. Curtis and Blake has in the past. Bernice has been posting on there. I think we're getting more people to look at those things. I didn't give a report on. I think we talked about how many people were opening up our emails or clicks or whatever. And I think that we seem to get a lot of people who open them. We also get some people who, unsubscribe altogether. So I don't know if we should go through those people and figure out who they are and anything like those people. But there's a little disconnect between the numbers of people who are opening these things. Maybe you see 150 people, sometimes 200 people, and then you get to a meeting and you see 12 people. So there has to be some disconnection, or it's something we can do to make people want to be more involved. I created an Instagram for the chapter, and that is something that I want all of these things to kind of be linked together, because there are, I can't think of the application right now, there's an app where you can post in one and then post in all. So that would be great for us to do. And then Constance and I just spoke about Snapchat. I think Burtis broke that up the last time we met. We did a board.
For my retreat, I believe, but right, it might have been a little bit after that, but
The executive
committee.
committee.
Okay.
And I don't use Snapchat, so I couldn't probably do that right. I would have to have some experience with that. But Constance did tell me she has one. Cece probably has one too.
Yeah.
And so I know that, and they both signed up for the public relations committee. So I know that we can do that. And, I don't know how active that would be, because obviously I think something's supposed to be going on when you're snapping. So we have to use it for our events, and maybe we use it several times during those events so you can see what was going on at the events interested in. And so the engagement report again, emails, posts, responses. I don't think we're getting as many responses on Facebook that we should be getting based on the amount of people who are on our group, but we are getting more and more people who are liking posts, specifically the one about membership being $90 for this year, and then there was another one that you posted where I believe that was pretty active. But that's all that I have to report on for public relations. I would like to have other people's ideas as well, because this is something new to me. I have somebody who I can go to that does this professionally and ask them for advice. And I reached out to them, but by the time they get back to me, this is already done. But any ideas that you all may have?
On the social media sites, on the signatures for the email blast.
I believe so.
They are, because I clicked one in the mail.
If email blasts come from MailChimp, yes.
What exactly is the Instagram name?
So I just started it the other day, but it will be JHJ Alumni.
Alright, so I need to actually go on my IG and my Instagram and link up with the page. Right. So anyone
Well,
here.
the way the Instagram works, you would have to sign out of one of them to do it. You can't just post it for Instagram. But if we have the login and you have them on your phone, you can.
Good.
Hi.
Wow. Miss Miriam Funches is here. Hello, how are you? Pretty good. Oh, would you like to say something? No? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So apparently, alums that came to speak did and feedback from both professors and
Thank you.
Good deal. And Muriel is our director of advancement. I spoke about her earlier, so your ears should have been ringing. And I said, thank you for being a person with feet on the ground and being our liaison and our point of contact. It makes a difference. When we attempted to do it on our own and be our own liaison and drive from work and come here and go there and miss this appointment and miss that appointment and miss this schedule. Yes, exactly. But opposed to our comparison when we actually had you on board to help us, I think 4 times, if not 5 times, the outcome, it was amplified. And so when we had maybe 3 professors and 3 alumni, now we had a dozen. And so absolutely. And one quick announcement to make, we did get a professor this week and said, can we come to his class the end of February or even the first week of March? And so they're trying to squeeze in things now because they heard good things about this week. And so our undergraduate committee, Carl Jenkins, Quentin Howard, we get with you on some other plans we have possibly for this semester, and then even going into next semester, some good ideas have come out of this room. So we're looking forward to absolutely.
And that's how far it is. Okay, somewhere in fall at the same time. And so I'm always trying to pace and track and be ready to plow for whenever I want, because I know that the schedule, then there's something. And if you're not on that something, then it's like.
Absolutely, makes sense. Absolutely. Well, thank you again.
She was running up on Tuesday.
All right, so. Okay, great. So, Whitney, any other items to add?
No.
Questions?
Any other questions or anything?
Okay, good deal. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is old business and new business. I would like for us to end our meetings online so that we can get into our business. But I did want to share our committee reports and our guest speakers with everyone that's online. So if you all can shut both of those down, thanks. So thank you everyone that's online now. Thank you for joining. See you next month, hopefully in person. If not, be looking out for our notifications so that you all can come back on next month. 3rd Friday of March. And our next meeting will be March 16th. See you then if we don't see you sooner than then. Take care. Have a good day. All right, so next item of business is budget committee.